The audacity as you try to lick my tea. The audacity of this cat to try to steal my tea. Come back here though, you were cute. Rosie. Yeah, come back here. Hi, my sweet girl. So, I have my tea. I have my cat. Or one of them. I don't know where the other one is. Probably running around. A little cozy. The books I've read recently. These were the books I read in July. And I haven't talked about them yet. I didn't read that many though. So I wasn't originally going to make this video. So it's, I don't know, just a cozy time talking about some books that I really enjoyed reading in July, or some of them. I really liked 2 of them, and I read 4, I think. So, you know, half of them I really liked. And so I thought this might be a fun time to talk about them, get cozy, drink some tea, cuddle a kitty, you know, have a fun time, just talk, really gush about one very specific duology that I read. I'm actually really excited that it's August because we're closer to fall. Don't look too closely at my bookshelf. Yes, I already decorated it. Partly for Halloween. Yeah. Come here. You're so sweet. It is raining and storming all day out. I have my tea. I have this cute kitty. And we're just gonna have a cozy time. It's gonna start off not so cozy because I'm gonna talk about the first 2 books I read, which were not my favorite books. You're really into this tea, girl. You're usually not this active. Let's just get into this. Let's talk about the first book. I have my Goodreads pulled up. I forgot about one of them. We'll talk about this first one, which, I own, but I currently can't get up, so you're gonna have to deal with the picture on the screen. Cause you know, number 1 cat rule is if a cat is on you, you cannot move. I can put it right here now. The first book I read was Captive Prince, which is the first in a series by C.S. Pacat. I always say her name wrong, and like in the audiobook it said it, and I was like, oh, that's how you would say it, and now I can't remember. I'm trying to find the best way to describe this book. A captive prince. This prince basically sold out by his brother and is taken to be a slave to a neighboring kingdom. He's basically like a pleasure slave. Listen, I'm all for dark romance, but sometimes the dark romance is too dark, you know? And when sexual assault is threatened a lot / is written about, and it's kind of told in somewhat of a steamy way, it's really weird, and I'm not for it. I've heard the series does get better, but I don't want to torture myself through the series, especially when I hate the main love interest so much. Like, I'm sorry, when the main character that you're supposed to really love and like go for, or the main like love interest, is constantly threatening sexual violence upon the person, and you're supposed to find them romantically compatible with each other, it's just like an automatic no for me. It's very obvious that the author wanted you to ship these 2 princes together. One is, you know, a prince controlling this captive prince slave guy, and there's constant threats of sexual violence. It's just, oh no, we got a yowler. Oh no. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Are you hungry? Oh, you're gonna be munching, huh? I had to let the kitty in. I'm sorry if you hear cat munches. She is now eating food. Where was I? Oh, Captive Prince. It was not for me. I can't read something like that and be entertained by it and want to, or not necessarily entertained. If there was other stuff happening that was entertaining, I might, but it was all just full of sexual violence and very toxic parties. Let's just say that. I can't find threatening of sexual violence or like sexual harassment to be hot or like sexy. Do not recommend. And I actually will end up unhauling this book, as well as I just unhauled her other book. I just wasn't, and that was before I read this book. I'm just not interested in it. The writing wasn't exactly like so superb that I would want to try another story of hers. I just think this author's not for me. I probably won't try it out again. Now, saying that, if you do like this book, because I know it has a really, really big fan base out there, people like what they like, and it is fine. I'm not into that. Okay, let's talk about the next book I read, because I honestly forgot I read this too. I rated this one 2 stars. This is The Savage and the Swan by Ella Field. Now, this was just a book that randomly popped up after I had spent my day listening to the Swan Princess soundtrack. I don't know why I have this idea, because I'm not a writer, but if I ever were to write a book, I think it honestly would be... Are you really... What? Zoomies? If I ever were to write a book, even though I'm not writing a book because I'm not a writer, I'd want a Swan Princess retelling. I don't know why I like it so much, I just do. But if I were to write a book, I'm pretty sure it would be a Swan Princess retelling. So when this book popped up in my For You, but not For You because it was just on like my library app, and I saw the cover and I was like, oh, The Savage and the Swan. That gives me some Swan Princess vibes. Maybe I should just start listening to it. And so I did, not really knowing what it was about. So this is a Swan Princess retelling, kinda. It has a lot of different elements to it and a lot of different retelling things happening. The main girl does end up turning into a swan multiple times because that's just like her power. This is like a romantic fantasy, romantasy, that's what it's called. Okay, I think it's Hades and Persephone, Swan Princess, and then Rumpelstiltskin, or is it King Midas? It's something like that. But it has a bunch of retellings. I really want just a pure Swan Princess retelling though, so like if you have any of those recommendations, hit me up. This is a standalone romantasy novel, which doesn't happen very often. Fantasies that are standalone rarely happen because I feel like fantasies are always like they have to be these long series. I would recommend, if you read this, do not listen to the audiobook. While the female narrator was fine, the male narrator made me want girl. The male narrator kind of made me want to cut off my own ears. Is that appropriate to say? It's not like I'm like Van Gogh or whoever that was. Picasso? Who cut off their ear? Some of the language used in this also was not great. Especially during some of the spicy scenes. There were also a lot of unclear spicy scenes. There was a lot of praise about this girl being a virgin, and then they would have sex, and then she would still talk about how she's still a virgin, and it's like, I'm unclear. Did you two actually have sex or not? Or is this just like a phase, or like your way of your mind? Is this just the way your mind is? I couldn't tell. It said the line spilling his seed or filling his seed way too many times. Can we stop saying that, please? Or like seed dripping out. There was a scene where he was spilling all over her and her the next day still being covered in his seed. Maybe this isn't as cozy as I was hoping it would be. I'm sorry. Why would you want the next day to have it dried all over you? It's just, girl, go take a bath, get a towel. I don't care. This is really gross, but who knows? Maybe some people are into that. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to read and judge. And I don't mean to judge. I'm judging for me, not for you. Hold up, how does this review work then? I'm just telling you my thoughts. You go decide if you want to read it. If you're into that, maybe you'll like this book. I gave it 2 stars because it was entertaining to read, and I did want a Swan Princess retelling, so I got the smallest threads of a Swan Princess retelling. Now let's gush. Let's talk about some books I really loved, okay? Which are 3 books, and they're all in the series together. They're all by the same author, and I need to gush about these. I don't know anyone who has like read these, and I'm just dying to talk about them. And I'm trying to force all my friends right now to read the books because I just want to talk to people about them. Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. and this is a masterpiece, okay? A YA masterpiece. Masterpiece, yeah, I really liked it. To read this book, you kind of have to read her other series, These Violent Delights, which also I adored. This is one of my favorite duologies. Really love These Violent Delights, and Our Violent Ends is the second one. These two are a Shakespearean Romeo and Juliet retelling based in the 1920s Shanghai between two rival gangs. I feel like I've said that so much because I'm constantly just trying to convince people to read These Violent Delights. It's so good, and I really love the characters in this. It's pretty violent for a YA book. That's the one warning I give about it, is like you have to be okay with a little bit of gore to like it. If you know anything about Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet, you might be aware of how Romeo and Juliet ends. Foul Lady Fortune then follows Juliet's cousin, Rosalind, on her journey after the events. I think is it 4 years or something like that after the events from These Violent Delights. This is based off of the Shakespearean play, I think, As You Like It, which is supposed to be a comedy. I've not read As You Like It. That said, I really loved it. It was fantastic. This follows Rosalind, who is this... My AC just turned on really loud. This is in 1928, and we're following the events after These Violent Delights, after the Romeo and Juliet kind of thing ended, and we're following Rosalind, who is this undercover kind of spy agent for a government group, the Nationalist. She's known as Lady Fortune, or just, Fortune. She has some special abilities, which makes her a really great spy and a really great assassin, and so she gets put on this job to undercover people in the communist community who are making this drug that is killing a bunch of people in the streets, basically. So she is teamed up with another spy who is Orion. And let me tell you, Orion has my heart. I adore him. So this is kind of like two spies in an arranged but not real marriage, pretending to be married to undercover people of the opposite party that they are in. Like anime, and you like Spy Family, it gives Spy Family vibes, it gives Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibes, and I'm a hope for that. I love the arranged marriage spy trope so much. 5 stars is what I gave Foul Lady Fortune. It was just adorable. It was adorable, but it also had the plot, also had the gruesome murder, which, I almost gave this a lower rating purely because the beginning was a little slow for me. And when I say that, I mean I've started this book in the past and then didn't finish it. I actually received an arc of this and was doing a buddy read with a friend and couldn't get past the first chapter because I just wasn't feeling it. It just wasn't grabbing my attention, and I'm so sorry I completely goofed on that buddy read. And now here I am reading it, and thank God, because I loved it. It was so good. And it leads into my next 2 books that I read as well, because they tie in with this. I read the novellas. There's 2 novellas in here based off of different side characters. I'm not going to say who because this definitely spoils some stuff, but this takes place between Foul Lady Fortune and the sequel, which is coming out soon. I gave Last Violent Call 4 stars. It was really cute. It actually had some good stuff that tied into the plot that takes place in the next book that's happening. It ties into the main story pretty well, so I kind of think it's a little bit important to know. There's one novella following 2 queer characters in here who everybody loves, or I think everybody loves it. They're really popular within the These Violent Delights community. Really enjoyed these. They're cute, they're fun, have little plot. There's kind of a murder mystery in one of them on a train. Definitely, I think you should read them. I think these are some of the best novellas that tie into the actual story that I've read, other than just fluffy weirdness some novellas have. A Court of Frost and Starlight. Talk about perfect timing, because I then got sent the arc of Foul Heart Huntsman by Chloe Gong, which is the sequel. to Foul Lady Fortune. And let me tell you, I had just finished Foul Lady Fortune and I was like sitting here crying because I loved it, and I was like, oh my god, because it ends on a cliffhanger, and I was upset. I'm very thankful for being sent this arc. So thank you to NetGalley, who ended up sending me an arc. Can't talk much about this one other than it's a continuation of Foul Lady Fortune. I will give my general review of it though. Let me just say, this series, this duology, this whole world of these Shakespearean retellings in the 1920s Shanghai YA world that they're in is so incredibly amazing. I adore them so much. I recommend Chloe Gong and like these 5 books. Okay, Foul Heart Huntsman, which is kind of a challenging title to say, at least for me. I ended up giving 4.5 stars, so still really, really good. I still really enjoyed it. It just didn't give me the 5-star feels that Foul Lady Fortune, I feel like I'm messing up these titles, it didn't give me the feels that Foul Lady Fortune did. Also, I really loved the arranged marriage between the spy like character type things. That wasn't as prominent in the second one as it is in the first one, which plot wise makes sense, but I am a slut for arranged marriage between spies, okay? Specific trope, but I'm here for it. I did like the first one a bit more than the second. It just seemed like some things would conveniently fall into place, which during a wrap-up sometimes happens, and I'm not like saying it's a huge deal because it happens in so many of the books behind me where some things just conveniently kind of happen and you're like, oh, alright then, you didn't really have to worry about that, even though we've been worrying about it the whole book. I just kind of wish this one gave me those gushy like feelings that the first one did, and there's definitely some moments. This book will be out September 26th, so in about a month and a half. It's the perfect time. They're really easy to read. The audiobooks are really good. It's a fun time, and I really wish I could say more about it, but then we're going into spoilers. July was kind of a slow reading month for me, I guess. I need to show you this. Look at this. This is how she's been this whole time. Look at this cutie. You're so cute. Anyways, 5 books I read in July. Kind of a slow reading month, I guess, but it is more than a book a week, so it's fine. Oh, I hope the mic wasn't too close this whole time, and I also hope that it's not doing that random popping thing that it always does. I don't know how to fix it. I have the filter, I have it plugged in right, I've like tried every setting, I'm just still getting those popping noises. So if you're hearing those random popping noises throughout this video, know that it bugs me too, and I'm trying to get it fixed. Anyways, I hope this was a cozy time. I just didn't feel like putting makeup on or really trying, and just wanted to talk about some books that I really enjoyed in July, and 2 that I didn't really enjoy, but you know, I think it was still a fun conversation. Maybe. Thanks for having a cozy little time. A cozy little time. Is anybody else ready for autumn? I know it's the beginning of August. I'm already ready for autumn. I'm so ready for it. Today has been a vibe. Today has been a vibe. It's been rainy and stormy, and it's just been a cozy day and with cat cuddles, and I watched the whole 2nd season of Heartstopper, which was a fun time as well. So it was just cozy vibes, and so I think I'm honestly gonna go to bed. I'm gonna choose my next read to read for a 24-hour challenge that I'm doing, and you know, just have a good time. Yeah. All right then. I'm gonna say bye now.